What's up, Johnny? How you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Chilling, man. Chilling. Glad to have you back again, man.
Yeah, thanks for
And
having me on.
stoked, man. We've been talking about doing it, but you've been doing a lot since then. And when I just popped on, man, you were doing something. Let me know what's up, man.
So we've had if anybody has been following me, we've been doing a lot of different stuff lately where we've been working with the K2 and the flashlights a lot. We get the spirits to interact with flashlights, and we've had a few new people pop up. But here in earlier, well, for like the last couple of weeks, we've had somebody very strongly coming through in our home, lighting up the K2. Now, we only get interactions, and a K2 is one of these. If you don't know what these are, this just measures electromagnetic field. So, like if an energy, if you put this next to an outlet, it'll light up, or if a ghost or some type of energy comes near it, it'll light up and it'll give you a reading that there's energy there. We don't have specific luck with this at many places. One specific cemetery, and oddly enough, in our home. So just fooling around like a couple of weeks ago, my wife, our routine in the morning, while she was getting ready, I'm normally sitting there tying my shoes or I watch a video or something. So as I'm getting ready, I threw the old K2 up underneath the TV on the little bookcase there. And I said, hey, is anybody here? Would you like to, light that up and let me know that you're here? And they started lighting it up. I mean, very, very intelligently responding. So we've been trying to get the identity of some of these people. It's very tough to do that. And the reason that we're really trying hard right now is because we've come across this name, Amy Tuttle. Okay. And it's very significant because not because I know her, I know who she is. She came through so clear. Anybody that knew her in life would be able to recognize this voice because it's crystal clear. So of course, I Googled Amy Tuttle, obituary Cincinnati, and there's only one that pops up. So I think I have the right one. So I'm talking about this on a live because she's come through a couple of times, very clearly saying her name, saying, help me, I'm desperate, things like that. It seems to be her voice. And then during a live, I receive a message, and one of the viewers brought it to my attention that there is an Amy Tuttle that's been missing since 2022. And yes. So while I was on another investigation, and also in my home, I asked multiple times, is the Amy that I looked up the right Amy? I got a no a couple of times. And the last time I asked that, they said different. And then they said missing. So the fact that missing came through, I was like, oh, okay. So it was from one of my viewers, instantaneously knew who it was and sent me the article and everything. So we've been like kind of intrigued with this because wouldn't it be amazing to be able to help a family if somebody's missing, to help bring resolution to that? Or at the very least, bring the message that your loved one's okay. They're coming through here. You can hear them. This is what I have. To do something like that is so rewarding. I've had the opportunity to give some messages from some people, some of my friends' children, too, in fact, that are on the other side that have passed, and if anybody loses a child, it's a hole you're never going to fill. It's a burden that you're always going to carry, and having those answers that's a weight. Having those answers could be priceless. It could be life-changing for people, right? They don't know, why would they do this? Why did this happen? Why did they make the decision to possibly, take their own life or something like that? So to be able to give those answers, it's priceless. So this woman's reached out to us. And the one thing that we found that I asked yesterday while my wife was not home, and then we did it together earlier. This person wanted more to communicate with my wife than myself.
Oh,
And if anybody doesn't follow us, my wife we investigate together. It's me and my wife, Married with Paranormal, and my wife is a critical care nurse. And she's one of those people that people just want to open up to her and tell their life story. And it's just, they love her energy. And so I think we balance each other out very well. So, and plus we bicker back and forth. So it's entertaining for the viewers, but, it's fun.
Yeah.
But we're able to balance each other out well. Some people are drawn to her, some people are drawn to me, but it's entertainment. We have fun and we enjoy doing it.
That's
So,
awesome. That's the number one thing, bro.
yep, exactly. So that's what we're doing now. And we got some other investigations in the works, but we've been doing a lot of when I first the last time we interviewed, I think what I was working with then was just my regular old spirit box. This is the SB7T, and the T just stands for temperature. It has like a gauge on here that measures temperature fluctuation. I don't really pay attention to that so much because you can get a draft and air current that could be, that's not necessarily proof for me so much, so I don't pay attention to it. But since then, we've kind of expanded. We use the K2 a little more, although I use that everywhere just to make sure that we don't have an abundance of EMF, because if somebody has like bad wiring in their house and there's super high EMF, we can tell just by going through their house with one of these and say, hey, you feel paranoid and creeped out all the time because you've got a lot of EMF that's leaching into your system. And some people have hypersensitivity, and that explains the feelings. So there are logical explanations for a lot of it. But what we like to do are the flashlights. And it's funny because one of our viewers said at first they thought that my wife was activating the flashlights with a remote
or something.
Right. It's not, guys. These are just little mini mag lights. You twist them on and off. That's it. Just twist tops.
So how do they do that, bro? How do they get that was going to be one of my number one questions, man, about with the flashlights, bro. How do they make it to where it does that? What's the mechanism or whatever?
I think that the way I set them is that you just set it just to where it's if you just barely touch it, twist it, it comes on. So you make it very easy to manipulate. You set it right on the edge. But I think maybe it's their energy that like pushes it to turn on. Maybe, I don't know, but it
makes that connection or whatever.
Yes,
without even having to move it, maybe just enough energy in between those 2 points to arc it.
That's it. That's what I think it is. I truly. That's why if you get it just that close,
it's enough from.
Yep, yeah. But it has to be. You got to have it set just right. But they will intelligently turn these on and off. And I've gotten some of my regular spirits. I know them by first and last name now. It's we've actually. It's funny, and that's that story in itself. But they've gotten so good at this that they can just flash it. Just a quick blip for like to acknowledge a yes, like I agree type of thing. They've gotten very, very good at manipulating these devices because they do it very, very frequently for us.
Right.
It's really cool.
Man, it's nuts, bro. Let me ask you about this before we even go further, man. I'm intrigued by the Tuttle one, man. That's real, man. That's like Unsolved Mysteries times, paranormal investigations. I mean, we got a guy here, man, who his daughter, and by here I mean in Texas, he founded EquiSearch because his daughter was one of the girls that went missing in the killing fields. And so, I mean, there's for years they've said they don't even know how many serial killers operate in that area. So it's nuts. Well, anyway, he finds out his daughter's, she's passed away and everything, and he starts EquiSearch. That becomes his lifelong thing. and he spends his whole life, man, literally looking for missing people. I think he's traveled uh, even to Aruba looking for what was it, Holloway that went missing in Aruba? Uh,
Yeah,
is that who it
that's
was?
it becomes your life. I
Right.
can understand that. But I have to admit that this has totally like consumed my life, not in a negative way.
No.
Uh, I think that not only do we enjoy it, having the ability to, like, we have a several spirits that always communicate. Having that advantage is such a blessing, and so we use it. We use it to our advantage to help spirits and living people. But
Man, that one's
I have a friend, a psychic friend, that actually used to work with the FBI, working on cold cases and unsolved cases like that. You know,
right.
so like I can't imagine, and that's why now, uh, what I want to do with the channel is try to help as many people as possible. You know, it became
That's
less about
awesome.
it became less about the numbers, because when we started the channel, the whole objective of starting the channel was not because I was just in poor health. I mean, we wanted the answers. We wanted to be able to show proof that life goes on after we pass. And I mean,
Sure.
bro, the first investigation, I was able to prove that because
Mm.
of the communication. It's just so beyond the 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 realm of just it the probability of it being radio. Uh,
Right.
I've proven that it's not. You know, like when you're standing in front of a headstone and it says Totten, for instance, Totton. That's the name of the family. And then you
Hmm.
got Jacob Totten, Sarah Totten, Samuel Totten, and it's
Right.
Totten coming through over and over and over again. When you're saying, if there's anybody here, can you say your name? You know, that's not going to happen. What are the odds of that happening for one time? Not to
But then
mention
all the whole family.
hundreds of times, you
Yeah.
know, at the same place over and over. It's just the odds of that happening. If you say that that's still coincidence, you know, come on, you're just wanting to argue, you know. So
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
definitely. Well, man, I've seen your ones with the Titans, and you know what, man, that's something I want to ask you too. Man, I got so much, man, to try to
go ahead, fire away,
ask you,
bro.
but I want to ask about updates on that, but I'm still stuck on Tuttle here, bro. I'm
Yeah,
tripping, man, because like, so you've investigated obviously who the person is. You know, you're trying to figure something out, but you said the voice. So are you saying is the device you're using now allow it to where it comes through clearer than most of the ones where you're hearing it's a lot of static and some people have to go back and really listen? Is that the
yeah.
case, or
Well,
is this person just coming through so
I,
strong? You know,
they do have a very strong energy, but I'll explain how that works. That so there's different settings that people prefer. When I first started out, I would do a reverse sweep on the AM band, and the AM band on both of the spirit boxes, both versions of the spirit box, has a lot more distortion and that static. But at times when it's clearer, you can hear so much more of what's going on over there. In fact, you can hear spirits having complete like back and forth,
right?
entire sentences. And of course, my ear gets fine tuned to hearing that. But
Hmm.
the FM, I've found that they come through. They're able to say their names almost crystal clear at times. What they're doing, when I first got the spirit box, I thought every time I heard those blips, it was radio coming through, and it was the
Hmm.
radio interference. And I got to remove that, right? I don't want that coming through, right? So I went and I bought a Faraday bag, which, you know, you can get those to put your cell phone in, and it keeps all the radiation or the radio waves from going into your leg. You don't want all that stuff leaching into your body, right? So, but that's not the case with when you're communicating with spirits, because what they're doing is they're taking those radio frequencies and they're bending those into words.
Mm.
So if there's a very strong signal that's coming through right when they're trying to bend the frequency into a word, sometimes they can get it so crystal clear that it sounds like them from life.
Man,
I've
that's
heard
nuts.
my brother that's passed so clearly I recognize his voice. I've heard my Nana who's passed, who actually came and let me know. Since then, bro, that's another story. She's come through the spirit box during one of my investigations, and when I was going back and editing, I heard Nana, your Nana, it's your Nana, and then her first name. And then when I heard her first name after it's your Nana, I picked my phone up and I Googled it, and lo and behold, she had passed 9 days before. And you know, I was kind of estranged from that side of the family. There's just over time, the family.
I got you. Yeah.
Some branches.
Sometimes you just lose touch, bro. I got you.
That's it. So like we were not informed that she had passed. Because it was a sudden illness, and you know, it was kept kind of quiet. In fact, they didn't have a big service, and she was in her late 80s. There wasn't a lot of people to invite. You know, most of them are passed, so it's a very quiet service. So I didn't know she came through, but I heard her voice so clearly that I recognized it. So I'm very happy that Amy has come through a couple of times. You know, it almost has consumed me. And my friends, my psychic friend Lynn, she immediately tapped into her energy, and like she asked me, "Did you get anything about a bridge?" And I said, "Yeah, I did. I did. I got a couple of things when I was asking her some clues. Can you tell me where this happened? Who may have done it?" And we got something about Apple and Bridge. So we're looking for Apple Bridge, maybe in Georgia, which is where this case happened, where she's missing from. But there's an Apple Bridge Road kind of close to where she went missing from. So that we just started trying to get her to give up the details. I have a sneaking suspicion that the one in my home who confirmed that it's a female that's kind of reluctant to talk to me, I have a sneaking suspicion that it's her. I do. I for some reason,
bro, that whole little thing there just chills through my whole body, bro. I'm not joking, man. When you said the name of a potential street and all that, I'm serious, man.
Yeah,
that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's we're looking for.
Have you found any family members at all of this person, or is there?
We have not gone that far yet.
Okay.
I mean, we know who she is.
Right.
I want what I want is 100% confirmation that she is the Amy Tuttle
that's who it is.
Missing. Right. The clues I've gotten are leading me in that direction. The one that I thought it was only because I typed in Cincinnati, and she's the only one that popped up. So
got you, man. I hear you. That's smart. You know what I mean? You don't want to jump into somebody and be telling them stuff and you're not 100% sure or whatever.
Right.
I got you, man. That's smart.
They have different. So the two that I found have different middle names. So that's how I'm going to figure it out. Tell me your middle name. That's what give me your middle name. I mean, does one of them have an actual burial spot of that name? Well, one of them. Well, here's the thing. Here's the interesting part. I did a video a while back, and I actually own 2 plots at a cemetery, a local cemetery, Mount Moriah Cemetery. I did a video there, and I actually remember making that video. And I was over in the old section up in the front, and I was by this above ground like capsule thing. Not really a mausoleum, but like a capsule, like above ground. I got you, yeah. And I turned around, and right when I turned around there, I read the name Tuttle right there. There was the Tuttles were right there. And I remember that name because every time I see that name, I think about the TV series Orange County Choppers. Yeah, I think about that's what I thought. As soon as you said Tuttle, in my mind, that's what popped up. So yeah. Right. So like naturally, since I watched that show quite a bit, like that's gonna like stand out in my mind. It sticks in your head. Right. That's right. Right. So it's like is that a connection to that family, or is that like, is she related to that family? Maybe there is a connection there. And wildly enough, since she's missing and I happen to be there with a spirit box, see, I don't know. Like things like that happen. It's crazy how this stuff happens.
Man, dude, that's got to be heavy. I mean, good and bad, but I mean, definitely good if you can get it in a direction where it potentially, like you said, helps a family, man, or solves something or whatever. That's incredible, man. That's just, what else could you ask for from it?
I mean, you want to talk about rewarding something to be able to do to help some people. I mean, these are the things like so my wife's big into true crime. So one of the things she wanted to do was go to possible murder scenes and maybe try to connect it and or work some cold cases, see what we can do, because
Sure,
the fact is, we can prove beyond the shadow of a doubt that we have communication with several people that passed in untimely deaths. And they stick around us. That they literally, and in fact, one of mine, I now call him my brother, Steve-O.
Steve-O, I remember you mentioned him from last time. Okay.
Yep, and he's still with me. Like they help, they assist me in this. They like when we go places, I've actually caught him speaking one at a time. Come forward, say your name, speak clearly. Like I ask him, hey, Steve-O, can you ask them to come forward one at a time and say their name? Tell them to say it clearly. Tell them to do it slowly. Can you help me out, brother? And he does, man. He does. And it blows my mind. Like you would think that I'm making all this shit up. It sounds crazy, but it does. It sounds nuts. And if you would have caught me last year, I would have laughed in your face if you would have told me this story. But go look at the channel, guys. That's all I can say. Like,
man, your channel's great, bro. We'll definitely share the link again and all that, and do everything we can to push it, because your content's awesome, man. It really is. And I'm gonna tell you, man, it's gonna blow up, dude. It's gonna be. I'm telling you, man, because you got such a unique thing, in my opinion, with you and your wife doing it, and you're doing it the right way. You're not just doing it to try to, like you say, to just, oh man, I'm gonna get some numbers. You're like really, and you're showing the process of it, bro, which is really cool. A lot of people, you don't get to see that, man. We get to see you grow with it. Like that's why I enjoy and was so excited to have you back, man, so we could talk about the new stuff you've discovered or done. But you mentioned the helper and everything. One guy that I've watched, I pretty much watched. In fact, I need to go back to watching some of the stuff because I'd caught up. Was Dalen Spratt from Ghost Brothers. And
oh yeah, that's right. You mentioned him. Okay, yeah,
right. I like him. Great. I think his show's real good, genuine. And one thing I noticed is in his older videos, he'd have these reoccurring people that would pop up, and he didn't know if it was people that were like from the other side trolling him, or something like.
But that happens. It happens.
Right, it can, and there's people he doesn't want around. I've noticed. There's people he's like, I don't want you here, man. Stay.
I can vouch for him 100%. That happens. I have trolls on the other side myself.
Trolls, bro.
I do, bro. I do.
It's crazy. Next level, man. Hating from the other side, bro. Come on.
Look, man. There's assholes in life, and there's assholes on the other side. We don't lose our personalities. We just drop the vessel that we're in. The meat stick that we're inside, that we walk around in. Exactly. I mean, we keep our personality. In fact, this is one of the things that I asked. Actually, I'm going to tell you a quick story. You'll like this one.
Yeah.
One of the things I asked this person earlier, I told her, I said, let me tell you a quick story, and then you answer this question if you can help me or not. And so I'm speaking to the spirit, and I'm saying, in the 3rd grade, I lived on the same street, and in my class was this kid. I just started this school. It was a Catholic school. So I didn't have many friends. And this kid happened to live on my street. And I just made friends with him. We started to become real good friends. And then he moved. And about a month after he moved, it was about Halloween. And he was playing in the backyard. And one of his friends was over. And he's like, hey, you want to see my costume? It's in the garage. So the friend ran around to the front, look at the costume, and my friend was in the tree playing and swinging from the branches and stuff, and he had a dog leash up in the tree, and he slipped and it fell and it wrapped around his neck, and he hanged to death at a third grader. It really upset me. It really disturbed me because for one, it was the first time I was like really confronted with that so close, a peer of mine. And two, like he was a good friend of mine. Like I really had become tight with the kid. So I asked the spirit, I said, so in the third grade, I lost a very close friend. And I was wondering, can spirits like yourself, can you reach out to other spirits for me? Like, can I ask you, could you reach out to my friend? And I said his name, but that the name doesn't matter. And I just to see if they could you reach out to that person? And nothing. I'm like, or are you limited to what you can do because of levels that you have to work through? And that thing lit up so brightly, bro. It was pinned, and it was like, and held it there for like 15 seconds. So like that was confirmation that I hit the nail on the head, that's what it is. And I've heard that before, that there's levels that you have to
everybody can't do the same, I guess, or whatever, man.
So yeah, so some of them, that explains why not all of them can light up the K2. Because when I go to cemeteries, most of them I don't get K2 reaction, but and some of them I do. Some of them can light up the flashlights, whereas others can't. But for the most part, most of them can come through the spirit box. But they can be anywhere. It doesn't just have to be, they don't have to be in that exact location. So the ones that are like lighting up the K2, I think are more grounded and they're closer to our realm. They're kind of more stuck to the earth. And so they can manipulate the physical world. Whereas like some of the people that I have come through the spirit box, I don't think can do that. I think that they because I've asked some of them, are you in heaven? And I get a lot of validations that we're in heaven. And when I ask, are the spirits here in heaven? I get a whole flurry of yeses. So when I'm saying that, there's a lot of people listening that are answering. So I think, yes, there are what are called dead zones or levels, stages that we have to work through, just like we have here in the living world. These are things that kind of like, I don't know. It's all I think about, man. Like it really consumes me. I'm fascinated with this stuff. I really am. I'm fascinated with it.
It's very fascinating, bro. Very. And so like what I was thinking, man, is how you said, some of them are helping you, right? So like with him, I've noticed like in the newer videos, those reoccurring people, the ones that did come through that were like very, seemed to be helping him, he started to realize it, I guess, that, oh, wait a minute, this person's kind of helping me. And like now hey, are any of my people here? And there'll be a couple of them will pop through and he'll be like, can you help this? Somebody will come on and say help, or this or that. And he's like, what's the call here? Can you help this person? And it'll, be a response. And then sometimes, like you said, they'll have people talking to each other almost.
Yes.
The same thing like you're saying, bro. And I mean, that guy's been doing it for obviously a long time. He was on was an A&E show. I think it was an A&E show.
Yeah, they had a series. I think it was.
Or history. I don't know, man.
A&E, sci-fi, one of those two. But yeah, I've watched it a few times. Yeah, it's
right. And some people were saying the guy Zach kind of got him kicked off of it or so. He won't talk about it. The dude won't talk about it because I guess he didn't want to get any further blacklisted or whatever, But anyway, there was kind of some rumor of that type of stuff. But anyway, point being, the dude, I saw kind of his evolving of it the same, not near to the amount of you because, I'm subscribed to your channel right there all the time. And I'm seeing it even from the last time me and you talked, the progression, like just even watching, bro.
Yeah.
it's cool, man. It really is. It's amazing, man. It's very
Well, we
intriguing.
developed relationships that, I mean, it's just, it's really no different than dealing with living people. You still have to earn trust. You still have to have some type of rapport with them. You know, some spirits you naturally click with, some you don't. Um, but I have a few of the Tottens. My Nana, who seems to, even though she was 5 foot tall and maybe 110 pounds at most, she was extremely religious and no nonsense, and she cared about me very much. So she seems to be the powerhouse in the bunch. But
Awesome.
her, Steve-O, and a couple of the Tottens, they're always there, and they make it known, and they do defend me. And my brother comes and goes. My brother comes and goes. I think
Wow.
he's doing his own thing. Like
He's doing his own thing.
doing his own thing, but things have changed. He's been around more lately. I can tell you that story real quick.
Yeah.
It was an accidental overdose for him. It was a fentanyl thing. Somebody gave him a couple of what he thought were Xanaxes, and they were not Xanax. They were pressed fentanyl pills. And he was actually in Florida in a hotel room dealing with his mother's estate, who had fell victim to the same thing a year prior.
Oh, man.
And so in that area down there in the Daytona Beach, Volusia County, those areas he frequented, there was a huge ring of fentanyl ring that they were, a pill press operation, and a lot of people died because of that. And my brother, and this is Lynn, Lynn told me this. She's my psychic friend, and this is my brother actually visited her before we even met. And that's another story in itself. But he was basically there tormenting this guy, the guy that gave him the garbage that killed him.
Okay.
But he's been around a lot more lately to say hello to me because they're busted. They got busted. There was a major bust down there, and they're charging a lot of these guys with the murders of several of the victims. So there's finally justice. May not be like specific justice for my brother, but it is, because the people are being held accountable for what they're doing.
Should be, man. That's
that's
a whole different thing, bro. I mean, that's
infuriating, man.
No, man, you're killing people. If you're selling people that you're killing people, period.
Yep.
You know what I mean? There's a high probability this person's not going to make it. This is not safe. There's not, you know what I mean? This isn't, you're not selling bags of weed and stuff. You know what I mean? Even rocks.
For money, man. For a couple of dollars. But that's the world we live in.
It's disgusting, bro. They need to be held fully accountable on that.
Murder.
Now, that's something. I mean, you look at a case like a guy like Rob, man. Okay, Rob paid his price. Sucks. But I mean, I think he was on his case. I think he's way overcharged and way over timed. But the thing is, had it been that he was doing what was happening there, and he was selling straight up death, no way around it, well, then the life sentence wouldn't have been. Sorry, bro, you destroyed people's families completely without.
That's a whole nother ball of wax. That stuff that should be banned everywhere. And I still know people that are in the street life, and I know people that still are in that type of world. And some of them are older guys. They've been in that type of trade their entire life. But I do know that there are some people in that game that have nothing to do with fentanyl, want nothing to do with fentanyl, want nothing to do with anybody that has anything to do with it. And because they don't want to kill their clientele. That defeats
what is even the exactly, man? You have no more customers left. It's like, what? It's sickening, bro. It's straight up evil, man. It's sickening.
It is.
But man.
Is.
Good.
But
gosh,
I mean, and that's
sorry, man, about all that too.
No,
Jeez.
But that's to know that he's okay and he's able to move on. Steve-O, I got a message here recently that he's ready to move to the next level. Like this, that's how I got clued into the levels. He's moving up. He's moving a level or something like that. They told me, and I've heard this before. So like to know that they're accountability does matter. It matters in life. It matters in the spirit world. You know, whether we're talking about paranormal or not. You know, accountability. You know, even on social media. And that's a whole nother topic. But you know that's what it's about. You know, and my wife and I decided since Steve-O, getting to know him and his story, kind of like really changed the path I set myself on. Like I realized, oh no, I need to help people. I have the ability to do that. I have to do that. That's why I'm doing this. Right. So like since him, that's why we do this. And it's just,
that's awesome, man. I mean,
and accountability, man, like it's everything. That's the legacy I want to leave behind. It is.
That's awesome, bro. That's what you want. I mean, what else could you ask for, you know? And accountability would fix a lot of the problems, man, that are in society and everywhere.
Yes.
There's a big time lack of accountability with across the board, man, from lower to just nothing all the way on up to people in government
Highest
everywhere.
levels. Yep.
Just exactly, bro. Exactly. There's no accountability. Let me ask you about as far as energy goes. I see a lot of people deal with not deal with, but they talk about this is pinwheels, man, at cemeteries. Have you ever had any success talking with anybody, you know, like seeing a spot and there's a pinwheel and go, hey, can you stop this pinwheel? Can you not? Have you done anything like that? Or do you have any thought on it?
Yeah, I mean, I
I know there's the possibility of dumb luck. I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go with that.
Okay.
Like, I not to say that I think that most spirits do not have the ability to manipulate the physical world. I don't.
Okay.
Like, you know, do we see maybe a shadow out of the corner of our eye? You catch one, you know, that's about what you will get out of most of them. You know, like that's the extent of what they can do.
Okay.
But like dowsing rods, I've seen, you know, and those, you know, they turn into it like.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
Holding them, right? And then then also, like you said, dumb luck. The wind could affect that, or friction, or whatever. Like, so people are obviously going to try to be super skeptics on that. Oh well, somebody's holding those, so you know, or that's just the wind, you know. But yeah, I think that they can manipulate almost anything. I have a friend that, well, for instance, these. I got a friend who's plagued with the same thing as me. They do this. I hear that. Like this will be sitting on you know, a bottle will be sitting on the desk for like 6 hours. Nobody even touch it, and then it does that. Like, and you know, and one day I was sitting there, and it dawned on me. Oh, I figured out how they're doing it. So molecules expand when they get colder, right? So what they're doing, ghosts are energy. So when they manifest or manipulate something, they use heat. Heat is energy. So they're able to like drop the temperature inside the bottle or around the bottle, which makes the plastic expand and contract. Right. So that, I believe, is how they're doing the plastic bottles.
Gotcha.
It makes sense, right?
Physics. Yeah, now you're talking about something that obviously, like you say, it makes sense. And then if the temperature, you know, then it would make it do that. That's right, man. How about? Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. No, I was
just going to say they do find ways to manipulate things in our general environment. So yeah, I mean, that's just another example of a pinwheel or whatever. You know, they can do that stuff. Absolutely.
That makes sense. Yeah, and that really makes sense the way you explain it. How about this will be the last one on this, and we'll pull some pictures and whatnot or whatever you want. I was going to ask you about those. Even I think they even have people use a phone sometimes to do it to scan, and it has the little figures and stuff. What's your
Yeah.
opinion on those, man?
Um.
And what are they called too? I'm sorry, I'm just
Okay.
saying
Let me see if I
crap.
can. I'll get you the exact name. I
Need to
actually
put
want to
you on the
get one of
spot.
those.
They seem pretty cool, bro. And I've seen actually some serious guys using apps for it, bro. Like straight up using an app and going, this one's pretty good. I use it and blah blah blah. And sometimes you see there was a very intriguing one I saw, and it was uh it was in the South, man, and it was Dalen was doing it, and he was scanning the area, man, and there was people in trees as though they were hanging, bro. And I'm trying to think if he was at the slave cemetery at that time. I'm not certain. I don't want to say for sure, but he was in the South, and he was explaining how, geez, this would, and he would scan everything out. It wasn't showing those. You know how, like, if you scan a tombstone, sometimes it'll put it there just because it's shaped in there. In it,
Right. It's trying to zero in on the shape. So it's
right,
like
right,
in a
right.
second it tricks it, and an image pops up, and then it
And
configures.
he's like, and so he was going, no, this is nothing. This is nothing. He goes, now watch this. He'd go, some trees, man. It was just, and there was nothing behind it. There was no,
So
like,
nothing to trick it
to trick it, right?
right.
It would be like the leg parts were just in the air, and then it was very, man. It was really a trip, bro. The way
I
it was.
like those. I like those. And those are
Okay.
cool because you can take it a step further and say you walk into a room, you're standing in the doorway and you see in the corner of the room there's a figure standing there. You could do stuff like, hey, I see you standing there. Can you raise your hand? Can you lift your left leg? Can you wave to me?
Gotcha.
And they'll do that. Now that takes away the randomness or the probability of it being an anomaly that
Right.
just it's tricking the camera. So
That one makes it an intelligent response.
right, exactly. And I've seen a couple of channels use that. It's a relatively more expensive tool out of
Okay.
the the standard things that people have, but
Mhm.
that's one of the things I'm probably gonna. It's on the list in the near
cool.
future.
Oh
Because
man, we'll have you back on for that for sure, obviously
right,
too, man.
I'll be out in
Jeez.
I'll come on live from the field maybe sometime. We'll do something like
Dude,
that.
that'd be good. Hey man, that would be completely insane. I'd like to even sometime we got to do a live too, man, scheduling in advance and do some stuff too. That'd be dope, man. But so let me pull up this one real fast, man, because this one's one that, I think a lot of people it's on their radar, man.
Oh
As
yeah,
far
Bobby
as
Mack.
going, oh man, dude. So that's you there, right?
Yep, that's me.
At Bobby Mackey's, right?
Yep, that was just not too long ago, about a week and a half ago, and
Right.
about a week and a half ago, and that is inside the tunnel that leads to the well underground, and it's I literally had to walk into a drainage tunnel, and that's me, and getting ready to do the spirit box and the see. Now on that situation was unique because we were underground, and the FM band, nothing was coming through in the tunnel. Once we got into that junction area there, we could actually stand up and you could see people have been in there and they've done occult activity. They got the pentagram spray painted on there, keep out. But to be honest, bro, like my entourage was there. Like they came through, a few of them. Like they come through as always. And there were some new people, but my opinion on that, there's just some nasty people there, nasty humans.
Right.
In that tunnel.
From life that were
from life, right. I personally, now I've gotten some really nasty EVPs. I've heard like the name of you know who, and which I don't need to name him, you know who I'm talking about. And I've heard different variations of his name and very evil sounding EVPs. So yeah, I think that there may be some demonic activity there, but not to the levels that they make it out to be. I think
how did it feel, man, physically? Did you feel anything physically, or you were prepared enough, you think?
Yes. The first time I was there, I had an EVP. I was doing a spirit box session, and I got a really foreboding sounding, deep, growly, gravelly sounding EVP. And when I heard it, I felt like this gust of energy like pushed through me, and it was very unsettling. Um, Other than that, that was the worst of it. But
Okay.
each time we went back, I have to admit, it kind of was less intimidating. But
Gotcha.
yeah, like now that the signs, the Bobby Mackey signs, they're all gone.
Oh, are they really, man? Everything's
Yeah. So
gone.
here's what they're
Tell
doing.
me a little bit about it, man, too, if you can,
Okay.
about Bobby Mackey's. Why is it such a place that's, people that investigate are so drawn to it and all that?
Okay, so basically, Bobby Mackey's, it was a country western nightclub owned by Bobby Mackey, and he's had, I think, from like the 70s. And that building used to be a slaughterhouse, among other things. And there's a well in the basement, so the killing floor would drain down to the well, and the well would wash out to the Licking River, and that's how they would get rid of the, I guess, all the drainage from the killing floor. So over the years, that the activity and doing the history, there like Pearl Bryant is a woman that was beheaded allegedly, and her head was disposed of through the well, and the well's rumored to be a portal to hell.
Right.
And there's
That's
supposed to
what they
be
always say.
a lot of demonic activity on the property. So that's the story behind it. I think a lot of this has kind of like been hyped up for TV ratings. 1.5 million people have gone there and investigated, and what do we see? Nothing significant or any more than any other place that anybody goes to. And that's what you have to kind of look at, is like, what's the evidence at the end of the day? What are they coming up with? Now, the former caretaker, Carl Lawson, who I do have EVPs of coming through. When I asked him, Carl Lawson, are you here? Can you say your name? And he said it's Lawson a couple of times. And then he said it's Carl. So I got him coming through multiple times. He actually was exorcised there on the property. Supposedly, one of the demonic spirits had taken possession of him, and it's actually on camera. If you go on YouTube, you can watch the entire exorcism. So like he lived around the back, and so that's where I felt that foreboding feeling, and I heard that creepy EVP right there, right outside where his apartment was.
Gotcha.
And so what they're doing is they've moved temporarily. And from what I understand, they're going to tear down the old place, build a new nightclub in the old spot, and then move back once they finish construction. Okay. So everybody's wondering, are the spirits going to remain and be at the new place? If I was a betting man, I would say yes.
Right. There's no reason for them to leave or whatever,
no.
if they've got that attachment to the area. Jeez, bro, that's a trip, man. So the day you were there, was there other people around? Did you see anybody so nobody around at all?
No. In fact, the time before we were there, when we were there, the back of the building is where the staircase to the apartment is that Carl Lawson, the caretaker, stayed in. And it was like nobody had been in this place for quite a while. There was so much ivy growing over the back of the building and over the door and everything. Nobody had opened that door for at least a couple of years. But this last time when we went back, the ivy was completely clean. Somebody had been doing some major cleanup around there. And I heard they were knocking it down and then selling the pieces off. So they're probably going to cut it in the chunks and then, sell them off.
Own a part of Bobby Mackey's.
I don't know why you would want to do that. The only thing that building represents is, the slaughterhouse and negative memories of people losing their lives and loss and negativity. Why would anybody want to hold on to that? It just doesn't seem like a souvenir I would want in my collection, Yeah,
it's like some macabre type,
Exactly.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I mean, it's like, if you're one of those dark people or whatever, and you believe in the dark, and and you obviously you believe that, and you know that, why would you even want to bring that in? You know what I'm saying? But it's like,
Yeah.
unless you're just like that, maybe some people are just dark, man, and want dark energy with them, man. I got it. Let me pull up another one here, man. There was a couple that I had grabbed, man. That's when you did.
Yep. That's
Yeah, everybody go check that out for sure, man. That was a good video. And
that.
then
Yep. My wife, Mrs. Mack, is in that one too. So if you're a fan of
awesome.
Mrs. Mack, she's in that one as well. She's gonna. We're trying to get it to where she's on screen a little more too. I have to admit, I'm a little bit of a screen hog. It's my passion, and really, to be honest, my wife, although she agreed to do the channel with me at first, it was just so we could spend some time together, and because I needed somebody reliable, and that we could disconnect from all the drama of social media, just do content, be happy, and enjoy ourselves. But
Sure.
she got bit by the paranormal bug, and she now craves going on the investigations and interacting. I mean, she's gotten attached to these people too.
That's
That
cool, man. That's great that y'all can do that together, man. And now, people lose that, man. They some people strive for it, some people just lose it, some people don't care, some people don't want it. But that's awesome that y'all can uh have something that you both want to do like that,
yeah,
man, and that you
it
can
makes a
enjoy.
difference. I mean,
Sure it
look,
does, man.
that's the most important thing, guys, and I try to stress that as much as possible in the videos. Is family, guys, family, happiness, health, helping other people. Only a life lived for others is a life worth living. That's, I
For
believe
sure,
that's an
bro.
Albert Einstein quote. I may have
Got me.
botched it
It's
a
a great
little
one.
bit, but
No,
it's a great one. Like it really it's a very powerful one. And so we really try to just do. We take the evidence where it goes, and and people's loved ones come through, and we deliver those messages if we can get them. And I think that's the magical ingredient, is trying to be positive and remove the negative energy. Like if
oh,
I'm upset, let's just say we're in the car, we're driving to an investigation, and we start talking about bills or whatever, and we have a couples argue, right? It's natural. I'm not
right.
saying we have a blowout argument in the car. Let's just say we have a minor disagreement. But there's a little bit of tension, and I'm irritated or flustered, or she's flustered. Investigation canceled. You don't go into an investigation when you're upset, irritated, flustered, because
Is
that
that
is
right, bro? Okay.
ring the dinner bell. Because all the negative entities come a running for that, man. They truly do.
Yeah.
It makes a
That's
difference.
just life. And you know what, man? Most people that ain't tuned into that and realizing that don't realize that when they do that, they're inviting that in, even though they may not have an EVP or this or that. You've
Yep.
just said, "Hey, everybody, all you negative POSs, man, we're come in, man. I'm ready for you."
They feed off of that. They
Yeah,
literally feed off of that. And it's
yeah,
true,
I
because
believe it.
the same way good people, when they help somebody, or that they know that they've done something satisfying, something wholesome, spent some quality time with their family, and you have that natural good feeling. They have that when they hurt people, and they truly get joy out of the negativity, right? So
Yes.
you don't want to give them any play at all. So like
Mm-mm.
that's one of the rules that I actually learned that the hard way, bro. And who fixed it for me was Nana,
Mm.
my Nana, who passed. Like
Wow.
I a few times went in unarmed, a little bit half cocked, not ready for what I was walking into, and
Hmm.
they knew how to exploit my emotions. And literally, I was on this emotional roller coaster for a couple of months, and I couldn't understand it, because like I felt like everybody was attacking me. Very irrational feelings. My wife's like, "What's gotten into you?" Like, that's not you. Like, I'm telling you right now, you are feeling that's not your feelings, because you got no reason to be feeling that way. I'm telling you. So like, I realized that. So I talked to my friend, my psychic friend Lynn, and so we made some minor changes. and we've been able to fix that, balance that a little bit. And it's all about energy, guys, positivity and balance in life. That's all it is.
Without a doubt, bro. That what you just said is the key to it, man. Because if you roll around with that mad, evil energy, unhappy, whatever, unstable stuff, it's good. Unless you get off that surfboard, bro, you're gonna ride it that wave all the way through. You'll stay like that, man.
Yep.
And I've gotten in that, man. I'll get in modes like that where I'm like,
Yeah,
man, this sucks. This sucks. This ain't going bad. And then I'll just like, whoa.
Pump the brakes. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's but that's okay though, because it's human nature. We're human. That's what happens. We get upset. That's human nature to get like that. But as long as and that's where we come full circle all the way back around to accountability.
Yeah, that's right.
I have to understand that I may be upset, but I still have to be accountable for what I say and do and how I treat people. And am I going to be part of the problem or part of the solution and be a positive input into the world, or am I going to be a part of the negativity?
Right.
And
man,
it's hard. It sounds good, guys. It does, but it's not the easiest thing to do. Like I try, I'm a person who is impatient, and I have a very low tolerance for like incompetence, stupidity, rudeness, and I'm working on that, my tolerance and my patience level. And I think you have those in check, you're way ahead of the game in life.
Hell yeah.
So I'm just saying, like that.
I agree. No, man.
My experiences.
You know what? I hate it, man, when I get into those kind of modes, man, because sometimes I don't realize it right off, man, and I'll be in one of those where I'm, all this, just negative, bro, just being negative, or about anything. It could be nothing, bro, or just frustrated over just stupid stuff instead of just being
out of your control, like out of our control type of stuff, right?
Yeah, right, man. Yeah.
Like, then you have to wait a minute, I got to pick my battle. I can't control this. Like, I get it.
Yeah, no, man.
Same thing.
What really made me kind of put me in check, bro? Honest to God, we were watching. Me and my wife, we try to watch some shows. Like every once in a while, we'll get a series, like either a barbecue cook-off series, or it'll be like we watch Dark Winds. It's a Native American show, man. Great show, man. And just start. We'll watch a series, whatever it is, and you spend a couple hours a night watching a show or an hour or whatever. It's you enjoy that. Well, we were watching this barbecue show, bro, and this one guy, man, he's a great barbecue, but towards the end when it's getting tough or they got him doing something else, he just starts whining, bro, literally whining about everything, and just like, oh, I'm just gonna quit, and a grown man, dude, big old guy, and I was just like, holy shit, dude, I do not want to be that guy. You know what I mean? I swear, man. I told my wife, if I start at all, any type of whining, any type of whatever, remind me of that dude right off, because that is not who I want to be at all, bro. It was just disgusting, dude, seeing a grown man act like that.
Right. I get it, man. And you know what? I understand getting frustrated, getting discouraged, because it happens to me, especially with the content and trying to, really, put something out there that's appealing. It gets frustrating, but to whine like that, it's like, come on.
Oh, and let me tell you, man, it ain't hard to kind of get in that mode if you start letting everything just be like, oh man, this sucks, or this is negative, and just being a negative Nancy, bro, as a dude, and then just being like, and then your whole family's sitting there, they're watching, and they're probably like, wow, what a dad or my husband's a piece of shit.
And that's contagious. That's toxically contagious, that type of attitude, I get it, man. Yeah, so that's
don't want to do that, bro. I don't, you know what I'm saying? So
I know.
Hey, bro, here's another one, dude, that was pretty interesting, man.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that little video, man, how that one went?
Well, that one, I titled that one that because it was like a third part of a third part 3 of a video that we did. We were on vacation, but this specific part of the video, so many people came through. And the special part about that video is that a patient came through that my wife treated. She said her name. She said, a patient you treated in December. She even said when she was treated. She said her first name. Oddly though, like nobody remembers her name. Like my wife went and asked several other nurses that have pretty good memories. We're talking, quite a few months ago, and they have so many patients coming and going.
Right.
But that was really cool that people that have passed on come through, and she didn't seem in distress. She was just saying hello. And that just goes to show, like, my wife makes a lasting impact on people that move on. They move on to heaven, and they still come back to show appreciation, to people that have genuinely cared about you and shown you love and help and tried to, take care of you in life, especially at the end of your life when you're vulnerable and so close to passing on. And there's been a lot of patients that have really grown close to my wife, but that was like so great to get that validation for her. I was so happy to give her that EVP to listen to. But yeah, that's
cool.
I like that.
Cool. It was a good one. That's why I picked that one out of one of them. But here's another one too, man. This one's pretty cool, man.
Yeah. So this one ties into the Tottens, the behind you. Now, at first, I thought that behind you meant that there was somebody creeping up behind me. It's not what it means. The Tottens are behind me. We're behind you. We got your back. We defend you. But at the end of that video, see, the Tottens, I've gotten several times, hide us, help us. He's scaring us, or that he hide us. Can you hide us? So at the end of this video, I hear it's one of the Totten kids, and they say, he's coming. And I said, who's coming? And they go, him. And they scream, him. Like I can see who it is.
Yeah, like you see it all. Right.
It's a child thinking I can see because I'm talking to them. I've tricked them. I've fooled them before where like they've lit up the K2. I'm like, whoa, back up. And they're like, can you see me? I get that over the spirit box. But they're telling me, he's coming. And that they're in distress. So like they're asking for me to help them. Like people are tormenting them. So it's no different than what's going on. It's bullying in the spirit world, just like there's bullying here. And these kids have found like solace in my home, like a safety net. And they follow us home. I asked them earlier, they lit up the K2 real bright, because we sleep at the end of the hall, and I leave the hall light on because I have an animal room, and I kind of leave a night light on because I got a bunny and guinea pigs, and the bunny will thump if it's completely dark. He starts thumping, so he likes the night. So at night, and I can see down the hallway, and you talk about that, seeing that shadow out of the corner of your eye. I see the shadow coming up through the hallway, up and down the steps, and in and out of this room, my office. And I can see that, never coming into our bedroom, but I can see the shadow play in the hallway. So does my wife. In fact, it spooked her one night when I was up in Detroit visiting a friend of mine, Gunner. He was having a documentary film. So I went up to hang out with him. She was home alone, and she actually saw a very dark shadow in the hallway. So I asked, I said, so you obviously hang out in our home. Are you the spirit? Do you notice that we notice you? We see the shadows in the hallway. Is that you? And then they light up the K2. They pin it for a second, and they answer intelligently. And then I say, have you noticed that we notice you? Do you see that we see you? Boom, they answer right away. Yes. So it's just bizarre, man. It's just so cool. But I think it's the Tottens, and they're not here to bother me. They just feel safe here. They like us. They've latched on to my wife and I. a lot of my viewers are convinced that I'm connected to them some way, like I was a Totten.
Right.
But even though they're a Cincinnati family, I was born in New York, so I'm not even from this area. So I'm not sure if that's it. But my wife may be connected to this family. I don't know. But there's a
Yeah.
connection there that is very strong. They really have latched on to us. And when we go to the Totten headstone, the big monument for the whole family, we get the most interaction with the K2, and we bring dolls, and we really have latched on to them. And they live here too. They've
Gotcha.
moved
Yeah,
in.
yeah, yeah. They're roommates too. Well, who? Let me ask you, man. Who do you have any idea who put the large Totten monument there? Because that is a pretty big one and everything. I mean, were they? What's the history as far as that goes? Because
I
and
know a
another
little bit of
question, 2 point question. One more. I'm sorry, man.
that. Go
Before I
ahead.
forget it
Fire away,
too, is
bro.
we had talked about. It seemed like a lot of them died really young.
Mhm.
Did you ever find out anything on that, man?
So not yet. I believe that there was a fire that may have taken the lives of a few of them. But
Okay.
actually, back in those days, it was quite common to lose a lot of children young, just because of they did not have immunizations, they didn't have antibiotics, just complications, health. Kids stick things in their little kids, they stick things in their mouths. Back then, hygiene was very, very terrible. So, like, uh, if you want, I really don't want to get too graphic, but
No, I
some of
got
the
you, bro.
men back then, would use their shirt tails and then tuck it back in. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like
No,
that's
I got
something that
you,
would
bro.
be
Yeah.
frowned upon today.
Yeah,
So, like,
nobody doing anything like that. Yeah,
right. So,
gotcha.
like, kids back then, their hands weren't as clean. They're sticking their hands in their mouths or picking things up, and it's
Right.
just I think if the risks were a lot higher, but I do know that in like the 60s, the 50s or the 60s, one of the Totten descendants had done some of the lineage
Mm,
and put some stuff on Ancestry, and that was kind of how some of that got built on Ancestry.
okay.
But other than that, it kind of remains. There is still some mystery to that. I get
Mm,
some things that are reoccurring things that they say, like the fourth Totten. They say that all the time. Is that the fourth Totten in that family? Is that the fourth Totten in the United States? Is it the fourth Totten to pass? Is it the fourth Totten buried in that cemetery? I don't know.
right.
What was I the fourth Totten?
Yeah,
Like, so
gotcha.
they say that over and over, and they say the 10th. So there are some mysteries with them that I am going to uncover. I just don't know it, and that stuff is other things that constantly consumes my thoughts. I don't know why, but that family has really stuck out.
Well, they're so attached to you, I guess, man, because that's
Yeah.
what it seems like. So if that's the case, it's not like you can easily just shake them. It's just like people that are around you all the time. They're there, and it's part of you, pretty much, I guess, at that point. So, man, that's nuts, bro.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man, we've knocked out an hour and eight,
I know,
bro.
bro.
Is
I
there
could go forever.
anything? Me too, man. Me too. Is there anything else that we didn't talk about that you want to right now? Obviously, we got to have you back, and you know, I
Yeah.
enjoy the heck out
Just
of it. But
for future tense, what's to come? What we're going to be trying to do is we've done a lot of cemetery stuff, and not that gets old. I want to do more than that. I want to give the viewers more than that, and I've gotten a lot of people to say, "Oh, we would like you guys to come here or investigate this accident site or this crime scene or this haunted location." So we're going to start doing things we're going to model it towards like a ghost hunters type of structured episode
mhm.
where in the beginning, we talk about where we're going, give a little history on that location, witness interviews, tell the story of what's going on at that location, and then show a little bit of the setup, then the investigation, and then of course the evidence review. And we're going to try to like make it like episodes, like kind of like a TV series,
Awesome.
so it's more structured. I think that would be kind of better for people getting used to expecting, okay, well, they drop a video on Monday and they drop one on Friday, so they look forward to the uploads. So that's what we're trying to get to, because we're close to being monetized. We're going to start memberships. We got crystals that we've ordered that we're going to start giveaways monthly for our members, things like that. We're going to offer stuff, extra content, things like that. So that's what's to come, guys. So,
dude, that's awesome, man. That all sounds great, bro. Really, hey, man, proud of you, bro, and happy for you for getting that going like that. It's not easy, man. It's not easy to run a channel, to do it. You've done it way longer than me. You've been around and done stuff, but you're on another channel, and you know what I'm saying, going now in a whole different genre. That's awesome, dude. Really incredible, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you helping me get this out there, man, and having me on the show, brother. I really do. It means a lot.
Hey, likewise, man. I appreciate you coming on and everything, and obviously we will do it again in the future whenever you want. And if anything pops up that you're like, hey man, I want to talk about this, or when we decide to do a live, man, we'll do that too, man, and have some fun with that. But thanks.
Good to be, brother.
Thanks to everybody. Go over and subscribe to Married with Paranormal.
You will like it, I guarantee.
I don't see how you couldn't, man, because just great content. It's fun. It's it's exciting. You're doing something different. The progression's awesome, man. How like you say, with the new tools, using the doing the flashlights now, and I'm sure, and you're on location doing stuff at different places. We've
done that too, yeah. Live right there, live investigation, so you guys can see it happening right there in live in real time, so you know that there's no manipulation. It's just it's genuine evidence, guys, and everybody's invited.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. Your lives are good too, bro. It's all interactive. People are all positive, and just talking, having a good time, man. So everybody, make sure subscribe to Married with Paranormal, man. And once again, appreciate you, Johnny, for coming in, man.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Hit like, subscribe, and all that stuff, man. And we'll try to keep putting out some awesome interviews like this with Johnny, man. Till next time, appreciate it.